go. Okay. Good morning, Tony Dattino. I am the founder of the USA Memory Championship, and we've been doing a live with Tony on cognitive reserve and reading this new science article. It's really been amazing. It supports a lot of the things that we do in the Maximum Memory Mastery online course and the 6 elements of long-term brain health that we feature on our USA Memory Championship website. And in this issue of New Scientist magazine, October 21st, it's been a very interesting article. It supports a lot of the things that we've been teaching people in how to create a brain bank. And I did an earlier part on this on Monday of this past week, and I wanted to finish, or I may not finish today, but I had additional parts that I wanted to stress. And it talks about our genes, right? And how much do our genes impact our ability to have good memories and have good long-term mental health that do not impact or does impact our ability or inability to wind up with dementia or Alzheimer's. And it talks here, it says, our genes play a role in determining our intelligence and having an IQ that has an impact on cognitive reserve. So our intelligence has something to do with it. And I still continue to take the position that our intelligence has got some variables to it based on the nurturing and the nurturing and the teaching we get and the confidence that we build and the support network that is around us. And so I continue to feel very strongly that with the right education and the right love and care and support, even our intelligence is malleable, meaning we can become more and more intelligent if we understand how to learn. And that's a different topic for another day, but let me stay here. But factors that are important to our cognitive reserve. Higher levels of social engagement. And so we don't have to be the life of the party, but having a group of friends. There's been more and more work that's been studied on the importance of having at least a core group of 4 or 5 friends. But higher levels of social engagement in mid or late in life are strongly linked to better cognitive performance in older age. And this is amazing to me, 30 to 50% lower risk of dementia. And I talk about community centers. We have all kinds of town centers, more and more communities, especially for seniors. We talk about the villages here in Florida that's now got well over 100,000 residents that have moved from different parts of the country, and the different activities that they engage in and life. I mean, I've been there several times, and I will tell you, the seniors in that massive area, they've got community centers, and they play games, and they go out and have social activities and musical activities and intellectual activities and team activities. I mean, golfing courses. I mean, they just encourage people to get out and work with and socialize with other people. And boy, and they're for communities over 55 years old. And so it's somebody years ago figured out how to get seniors to come really enjoy life and want to live longer. And by good golly, if this isn't made a huge difference to the seniors that have built themselves into the Villages community, which is in Ocala here in Florida. Socializing is a mental challenge. So now here's the interesting part. So why is socializing such a big deal? What makes it so powerful in terms of our mental health and mental functioning? So first of all, you have to remember a face and the name that goes with the face. And one of our USA Memory Championship challenges is names and faces. And it's always amazing to me to see how people study that and the challenges that they've got to put their brain through and how they have to link and connect the face to different features of it. So they're studying the face, they're making up their little association stories. And so here comes socializing is the mental challenge that you have to first remember a face. So you have to study the face and focus on it. And then you have to remember the name. Okay, what's the name that you want attached to it? But now what else? Well, what about the context of what you might be meeting and socializing and talking to them about? So why might you stop and discuss with them. And so I was walking through a neighborhood the other day, and I saw a woman just digging this trench, right? And she's digging this trench, and I'm looking at it, and I'm saying, God, I'm looking at this trench that she's digging, and I'm saying, God, I've done this at my son's house once before, and I'm wondering if she found a better way of dealing with it, and what she's doing, and she's shoveling this dirt out. And then I stopped and talked to her. The next thing is, she's inviting me to her social party that she's got for the coming weekend. And what was interesting is that her Halloween decorations and what she's doing with the trench and what she's trying to pipe, and she's going to try different vehicles. We had a great, fabulous conversation, and I really had a good time enjoying it. But it engaged my mental facility. That's the point I want to make here. So you engage and you navigate through a conversation. And so all of that is a way of helping you to build extensions of your dendritic spine. And we learn more and more the importance of strengthening your dendritic spines. And your dendritic spines are malleable. As you learn more things and you continue to educate yourself, we learn that those are just like muscles, but they're these little fibers that are inside your brain that make a difference in terms of building your brain-like muscles. And your brains are not muscles, but by golly, if we can do the analogy of comparing them to working out and lifting up dumbbells or doing presses or doing different kinds of physical exercise, well, then these are the mental exercises. And we need to think of our brain as, so what can we do in terms of bringing mental exercises that help to strengthen the brain? And so this explains the socialization aspects and why socializing is so powerful and so important. You got to navigate the conversation. Okay, what am I going to say to this person? What am I going to talk to from my perspective? What questions might I ask them? I always say to people, think about when you're meeting someone, what might be one or two safe questions that you can ask them that can start. So, for example, I was asking, what are you trying to do with this ditch? Well, the water pools in the driveway, and so when we get a heavy rain, the water comes down the drive, and the drive is kind of like in this little V, and the water pools in the V and then goes back into my garage. So I'm trying to find a way to take the pooling and divert it, and I'm digging this ditch. And so I thought about what we had done at my son's house. I had the same problem, and we pooled it, and we put in a rock basin. We dug in maybe 3 feet down. We put a bunch of rocks in there, and then we built a trail of rocks inside underneath the dirt. So we had to dig a trench, and we only dug it maybe 10 feet, got it into the center of where it naturally drains, and put rocks in it. And so it was a different way of how we dealt with it versus how this woman was doing. But it brought context. It gave us a conversation that we were next talking about Halloween decorations, so it brought context and gave me what? Links and connections. So the next time I'm walking in the neighborhood, if I see Mary outside doing some work or doing her decorations, and I said, wow, I can't wait to see what you're going to do for Christmas, it gave me context, and I had to look at a name, a face, what she was doing. So it gave me a whole variety of questions and dialogues, social interaction, and I just loved it. She's a wonderful lady, and just really enjoyed spending a few minutes talking with her. Nothing exotic, nothing crazy, nothing obnoxious or about it, but just a fun conversation of learning. So my purpose was learning. Why was she doing the trench the way she was doing it versus the way that we had done ours? And so it was a mutual exchange of information. So we navigate, we ask questions, we might use humor, we might laugh and have some fun. And we observe social cues. Was it safe enough for me to walk a little bit onto her property and engage in a conversation? And if she would have taken her shovel and went this way with it, I might have backed up and said, okay, I don't have the space. But there was a whole lot going on in terms of mental functioning just in a short conversation. And I was blessed to learn the fundamentals of meeting people and socially engage with two of the most brilliant minds at doing this. One was Richard Israel, who just could talk with people and get them to engage in conversation that were funny, that laughed and humor. His personality was safe. He never would have threatened anyone in terms of what a wonderful human being he was, and Tony Buzan. And these were two people I've co-authored 2 books with, but they taught me so much about how to interact with people, how to just have fun in conversations and have no hidden agendas, but just to enjoy different people's experiences. And then I remember reading a book on Wayne Dyer one time and saying, sitting at airports or sitting at terminals waiting for the train, or just sitting waiting for something to show up, engage a person or two that might be in the area. They're like history books, and you can learn about their lives. You can learn about things they do that just are fun and engage in context and have all these different aspects of mental exercise, that what we're saying here builds cognitive reserve, and that's beneficial to everybody. There is much more I want to cover in this. I'm just getting so many chunks of useful information from this particular article that I am going to be doing another piece of it on Monday when we start our next week of November. For it, your Halloween is over. I hope your trick-or-treating went well with the family and kids. Hope you have a nice weekend. There's a lot of good football games on again. A lot of college rivalries are coming back for Saturday, and then we've got the NFL on Sundays, and NBA is playing now, and NFL, my goodness, and NHL. My goodness, there's plenty of things to do on weekends and weekend festivals and flea markets and things. So enjoy your weekend and try to engage with someone that you've never met before. Just look at them safely and see if they look approachable, and just think of a question or two you may be able to ask them that might begin to engage in a conversation that does all of the things that I just talked about that are just listed in one paragraph of this incredibly terrific article. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.